you know somebody who is moody? Of course, we all are moody. We just have different moods. Some people are usually in a positive mood, and some folks are usually in a negative mood. Well, literature can change a person's mood. To find out how, keep watching. Lesson number 16 on sentence pattern and mood. So, open your notebooks and let's begin. In the last lesson, we discussed style, tone, and syntax as being elements of good writing. This lesson, I'm going to add sentence pattern and mood to the group. First, let's quickly review style, tone, and syntax. Style. A writing style is the way a writer writes, or the method an author uses in his or her writing. The four styles that I taught you about were descriptive, expository, persuasive, and narrative. Oh yeah, descriptive is also called argumentative. Syntax. Syntax is the grouping of words and phrases to create well-constructed and coherent sentences. And lastly, tone. The tone of a piece of writing is the general attitude shown or depicted. Now, let's move on to mood. Mood is the overall feeling, atmosphere, or impression that a piece of writing creates within the reader. I know what you were questioning. Isn't that what she said about tone? No, listen to the difference. Tone is the atmosphere the author is trying to depict. But mood is the way the reader actually feels while reading the literature. See the difference? The trick of good writing is to determine which mood you wish to create within the reader, and then choose the right words to create the correct tone to achieve that end. For example, pretend you are writing a scary story and you want the reader to become increasingly nervous about the family staying in the apartment house. Which version of this passage would you use, or which passage creates the most petrifying mood? Number one, doors slammed from the second floor where nobody lived. The occasional tortured shriek could be heard coming from the basement. The basement had been locked for years, and the underground dwelling's windows sealed with cement. Scratches, as if on a blackboard, came from the kitchen, and whispers in a legion of voices were heard throughout the house. Get out. Or number two, terrifying noises came from the second floor. The occasional scream could be heard coming from the basement. Scratches came from the kitchen, and whispers that came in different voices were heard throughout the house. Get out. Personally, the first passage would have me running for the door. Although the same things are happening in the second paragraph, the extra information increases the tension. For example, instead of just saying terrifying noises came from the second floor, you tell what the noises were and the fact that no one was present who could make them. Doors slammed from the second floor where nobody lived. The same technique was used for the basement. The occasional tortured shriek could be heard coming from the basement. The basement had been locked for years and the underground dwelling's windows sealed with cement, compared to the occasional scream could be heard coming from the basement. Even reminding the readers that a basement is underground, a coffin is underground, is a great psychological point. Using the word legion, which is an allusion to many demons, really makes what the voices were saying creepy and compelling. Whispers in a legion of tongues were heard throughout the house. Get out. Compared to whispers that came in different voices were heard throughout the house. Get out. Both passages use syntax to create a mysterious, unsettling, and scary tone to bring about a frightening mood. However, the first passage is just more effective. That is the power of good writing. Sorry. Finally, let's bring in sentence patterns. Now, we already touched on this shortly in the previous lesson. There is a rule for most things. I'll repeat. Syntax is the grouping of words and phrases to create well-constructed and coherent sentences. So we said that syntax is like the rules we must follow to write sentences. Well, certain groupings are called sentence patterns. Now, if you look below, you will see we have already gone over this. Well, we divided the sentence up into subjects and verbs, adjective, subject, verb, adjective, subject, adverb, verb, adjective, subject, adverb, verb, prepositional phrase. Excuse me. There are more sentence patterns, all right? But just with these few formats I have given, your writing can be varied and interesting. Think about it. A bunch of short sentences is too choppy. A collection of long sentences is too tedious. It's too boring to read. We always need a combination of these sentences in our writing to make it good. As you can see with our examples from Mood, your sentence pattern choice, along with diction or word choice, will determine your tone, which can impact your reader's mood. Let's practice. Choose the correct sentence pattern format. Be careful and pause if you need more time. Did any of them trip you up? That's it. Do you see how each lesson is moving you closer to great writing? I hope so. Until the next time, remember what Sidney Harris said. The whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows.